Hey everyone, welcome back to the Maple Leaf channel. You are watching episode 27 of Science Cities, and we've got a lot to cover today. We will start with a quick but detailed review of everything that has happened in the Republic since the last episode. We will look closely at what actually came out of launching raw bauxite mining and exporting it, the real numbers, the profits, the headaches, and answer the big question, is it even worth the effort at this stage? Then we will move on to planning a brand new city right next to our agro-industrial district, housing, utilities, transport links, the works. And to finish things off, you will get some live gameplay, the exciting moment of city settlement and the launch of the very first passenger train. As always, timestamps are in the description, jump around or just relax and enjoy. So grab your tea, settle in comfortably and let's begin. Episode 27 starts right now. Let's begin with the single biggest achievement Science Cities has seen in the past week, the long-awaited stabilization of the economy. After sinking into one of the deepest crises the Republic has ever faced, we desperately needed a new reliable source of income. So I redirected every available resource, workers, materials, focus, straight into building the conveyor lines and the bauxite mines themselves. This was a make-or-break move. The whole process turned out to be surprisingly slow, mainly because the construction site is so far from the near bus stop where construction offices pick up and drop off workers. Long commutes and limited working hours quickly became the main bottleneck. But here I got incredibly lucky. The total round-trip travel time for workers just barely fit within the maximum allowed limit in the game, not a second to spare. It is also important to note that during the entire winter season nothing was built at this site. Buses couldn't make the round trip within the strict travel time limit imposed by snow and cold weather, so the whole area hibernated until spring. By the summer of 1955, all three bauxite mines were fully constructed and ready to go. Time to bring in heavy equipment. One interesting detail worth mentioning, even though the game showed a warning about missing water supply, what is actually not required at all when the mine is operated solely by machinery. The same applies to sewage. Mines run by equipment don't generate human waste, so no sewer line are needed. All that's required are a few waste containers for a big amount of debris and trash produced during operations, and those were added right at the end. And finally, the moment I'd been waiting for, the first tons of raw bauxite began pouring into the storage silo, ready for immediate export. The massive 5,000-ton storage filled up in just about 20 minutes of real time, incredibly fast. My original calculation, 3 mines with a combined deposit quality of roughly 180%, proved spot on. No overkill, no shortages, just the right amount to start generating steady income while we build out the full processing chain. And here's the moment where I was genuinely shocked, in the best possible way of course. First thing that blew my mind, the train fills up with 250 tons of raw bauxite ridiculously fast. It's almost instant, no long waiting around for loading cycles. Second surprise, the storage silo never dips below 5,000 tons. Even the constant export running, the buffer stays full to the brim, which actually causes the mines to idle from time to time because there is nowhere to put the ore. And third, the real kicker, at just 100 rubles per ton, exporting raw bauxite is insanely profitable. Among all the basic mined resources, aggregate type, stuff like gravel, coal, etc., this is the clear winner. Over 26 in-game years, gravel and coal prices have quadrupled, but even at those inflated rates, they can't touch the profitability of raw bauxite. Next logical step, once processing comes online, exporting pure bauxite, which is already twice as expensive. It will push profits even higher. So, did raw bauxite mining turn me into a millionaire overnight, just glancing at the bank balance? Definitely yes, but don't get too excited, it won't last long. On average, one train load of 7 to 11 wagons rakes in 25 to 40,000 rubles per trip. That catapulted raw bauxite export straight to the second place in profitability, not just nudging aside clothing and food sales, but completely overtaking them. It's time to pivot to high-tech production, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now with aluminium and chemicals. Of course, we could brute force scale up food and clothing output, but that's insanely expensive. Massive supporting infrastructure, farms, mills, warehouses, transport, plus an army of workers to run it all. Even then, it wouldn't keep pace with demand. You'd just turn Science Cities into a banana republic, chanting out low-value goods forever. And let's not forget the plot. We are building a hub for scientists and professors, not potato farmers. High-tech is the future and bauxite is its bridge. While I still didn't know how profitable the bauxite exports would be, I was already running parallel construction, pump jacks and the main pump station for exporting crude oil abroad. Progress was painfully slow and painfully expensive, because of the constant need to import workers from outside. But curiosity was sky high. I had seen so many republics in videos and streams that jumped straight into oil in their very first industry. It always looked tempting, so I had to try it myself. And here came the revelation. Though honestly, it wasn't that surprising once the numbers came in. The final verdict: profit from exporting crude oil from just 3 pump jacks is actually lower than exporting simple bricks, and that pretty much says it all. Once the road through the canyon was finally complete and the construction offices were just about to roll out to start work on our farms, I paused for a second to take stock of the whole situation. I started thinking, how can I make the most efficient use of the existing rail construction office to build the entire road network across the field farms? Even with the new high-speed railway backbone, the track layer itself still tops out at only 50 km an hour. That's painfully slow when you have to cover large distances between scattered farm plots. Rebuilding a completely separate rail infrastructure just for a few short farm spurs felt extremely wasteful, both in terms of the resources and, more critically, time. So I came up with a clever workaround: used the existing grain warehouse in the first city as a pass-through hub for track layer. It already has rail access, it's strategically located, and most importantly, its purpose perfectly aligns with the overall mission of the agro-industrial complex: moving bulk agricultural goods. It's a small optimization, but one that feels really satisfying, reusing existing assets instead of starting from scratch. Of course, game didn't exactly jump for joy at my brilliant idea. I had to have quite a serious fight with it over pathfinding, routing and placement restrictions. But I refused to give up. At one point I was seriously considering demolishing the nearby farm just to free up some space. That's how stubborn I got. In the end, persistence and a bit of creative thinking win out. I found a clever workaround that finally got me out of the dead end. A small adjustment, a different angle, and suddenly the path connected perfectly. From there it was smooth sailing, laid the rail track parallel to the existing road and tied directly into the first farm. The road is complete, we are ready to start construction. After a rather short time, even by game standards, the first section of the road was fully completed. All that's left now is to wait for the first storage silo to complete, and then we can continue extending the tracks without stopping. Thanks to that sweet revenue pouring in from a raw bauxite exports, Science City's finances finally stabilized, pulling us out of red. It was the lifeline we need to kick off and even partially complete the infrastructure for the future chemical factory. Timing was perfect. Great season meant construction equipment zipped in with materials and workers like clockwork, no delays at all. Still, I kept it disciplined, focusing on just 1 or 2 massive objects at once. Those were the key storages ringing the factory perimeter. Incredibly, in 9 months we erected every single building around the chemicals plant, foundations to roofs. And honestly, I'm counting the days until that glorious moment, the first batch of finished chemicals loading up and shipping to the border for export. Just take a look at this price tag. 1 single ton of chemicals is worth a fortune. When that train rolls out, the treasury is going to love it. While dreaming about the future profits from selling chemicals, I decided it was finally time to launch the long-planned project, dismantling and scrapping our old, outdated vehicle fleet. In the first city, a small scrapyard was built. But choosing the right location for it wasn't as straightforward as it might seem. Like any production facility that employs actual people, the scrapyard needs full access to all basic utilities: power, water, heating, sewage and road connections. So I placed it right next to the city, close enough for workers to reach easily on foot. I connected it directly to the storage for metal and aluminium, as well as the dedicated storage for mechanical and electrical components, the parts that will come out of dismantling old trucks, buses and cars. And now the really important part. While the scrapyard is an absolute goldmine for resources, all those mechanical parts, electrical components, aluminium, steel, everything we can either keep for future use or sell for quick profit, it also produces mixed waste. You can store that waste right on site by simply connecting a storage silo to the yard. Convenient and efficient, but here's the catch. The scrap yard is built inside the city limits, right among residential zones. If I place a dump with claw for mixed waste here, the pollution would spread instantly and the nearby population will start getting sick almost immediately. That's a health crisis we want to avoid at all costs. So the smart long-term solution is to export the mixed waste using a small distribution office dedicated to waste handling. Metal and aluminium scrap are genuinely valuable resources. And the best part is you can sell them without hesitation. Prices are high right now, so scrapping old outdated vehicles actually pays off nicely. Unfortunately, this whole recycling chain isn't running at full capacity yet. Science City still hasn't unlocked the required technology for advanced waste processing and separation. We're getting there, but for now, it's a bit limited. But here's the exciting part. If you want to see exactly how profitable a scrapyard becomes when paired with proper waste separation, subscribe to the channel and like this video. The full export statistics will become available very soon, and I promise I'll show every detail, profits, volumes, trends in the next few episodes. Oil City keeps growing, and here's the funny part. 13 episodes ago, when I first started planning this project, I was absolutely convinced we would have oil refining up and running in just a few months or years. Settlement of this city is coming very soon. We can't keep ferrying workers from customs forever. It's too expensive, too slow and too inefficient. Once the first apartments are ready and basic utilities are online, we will open the gates and let people move in. Instant workforce right on site. Science Cities is still a long way from true financial freedom, but we're closing the gap with giant leaps every single episode. I'm almost certain that in the next major city we plan and build, we'll already use helicopters for construction. So now we move on to planning the brand new city that will serve as a dedicated workforce hub for our entire agro-industrial complex. I made a few smart adjustments to the layout right from the start. Added a dedicated warehouse specifically for the food factory to ensure smooth constant supply without bottlenecks. Positioned the road cargo station in a way that trucks can unload both clothing and food through one single terminal. It's efficient, compact and saves space. Knowing exactly how hungry the food production factory is, it actually consumes tons of crops per day, I decided to double up on storage. A second crop silo right alongside the first. Both storages will stand in a straight line along the railway, which will be connected directly to the main rail network, linking all 6 farms across this territory. For the city itself, I always kick off the same way. Drop the store first, plus 2 warehouses hooked straight to a road cargo station. It's my go-to opener. After about 600 hours in workers and resources, I still haven't found anything more efficient. Smooth deliveries, no traffic bottlenecks, no problems. The whole city is sized for about 2,500 residents, plus minus 200, balanced, scalable, perfect for the future growth. Most of it will be medium height and density, classic 5-story brick apartments, reliable, cozy and questionably Soviet. To spice things up, I grabbed the village mod, which is called Village Mod, packed with charming summer houses for 8, 12 and 16 people. They'll add that authentic rural vibe to the region without overcomplicating things, but honestly, they're more for decoration and atmosphere than hardcore practicality. So I will sprinkle them in later, once the core is solid. This mix keeps the city feeling lived in and unique, not just, another grey grid. So right now we're outlining the basic skeleton of the future city. Roads, utilities, key zones. The foundation, everything else will be built upon. A population of just 2,500 residents will clearly not be enough to staff the local industries properly. By my rough estimate, to run the factories at a comfortable 70–80% capacity, we will need around 4,000 people, and that's already accounting for workers in schools, kindergartens, hospitals, shops, police, fire stations, etc, etc, etc. That's why I'm already planning ahead. The city will expand, and quite significantly in the coming years. The good news is that having an initial local population makes future growth much easier. We don't have to start from zero every time. We can build on what's already there. And by the time we need to scale up, we will have unlocked high-density housing, 5, 7, even 9-story blocks that can house hundreds per building. That opens the door to much more creative and interesting urban design, mixed-use districts, tall residential towers, green corridors, maybe even a proper downtown feel. Unlike the other two cities we've built, this time I'm skipping a local power plant entirely. We will simply import electricity from the main grid. With clothing prices as high as they are right now, the city will comfortably cover its own operation costs and even generate a surplus through exports. No need to burn extra coal or tie up workers in yet another power station. So without holding back on materials, we string high voltage cables, plant support poles and run wires everywhere across the territory, a dense, sprawling network of overhead lines. Right now, while everything is still in a blueprint mode, it might look like a little chaotic, if you know, or tangled from above. But trust me, once the poles are up and the lines are humming, nothing gives an agricultural region that classic, authentic rural Soviet feel, quite like these low, endless power lines stretching along the fields towards the horizon. It's one of those small details that instantly transforms the landscape from generic farmland into something that genuinely feels like a working countryside hub. This time around, with heating, I went the extra mile and actually calculated the exact hot water boiler volume needed for every single building in the district. I came out to roughly 170 cubic meters total demand, so my solution, a compact small heating plant with 200 cubic meters capacity. Just enough headroom without overbuilding. I'm literally only 3 in-game years from modern industry, which unlocks those massive high-capacity heating plants for bigger districts. By the way, in a few episodes I'm planning a full optimization pass across all sections of Science Cities, pushing every single indicator efficiently, happiness, production above 90%. That'll be quite a challenge. Tweaking transport, utilities, layouts everywhere, but trust me, the process teaches you invaluable lessons. It's not just about building, it's about refining until everything hums like a well-oiled machine. So the absolute standout feature of this entire region is the distribution. Here's the core idea. Most goods produced locally, food, clothes, meat, everything will be packed into containers right away. Then, depending on the current needs of other cities and as demand arises, these containers will be shipped across the entire republic. But first, we need a proper place to store them. I'm installing 2 large container storages at once, both with direct railway access and loading cranes, of course. This setup lets us stockpile huge volume without blocking production lines. At first glance you might think, why bother with containers when we can just load wagons directly? And you are partially right, direct wagon transport works fine, but containers unlock a completely different level of logistics, trust me. Nothing is more satisfying than looking at 5-year reserve of food and clothing in monetary terms. A massive safety net against shortages, crises or sudden population spikes. And because the stock is practically inexhaustible, you can instantly ship thousands of tons to a new city in one go. That single move dramatically speeds up and simplifies expansion. No more waiting months for supply chains to catch up. It's pure strategic depth. Produce, containerize, stockpile, deploy anywhere, anytime. This whole logistics chain gets its final powerful boost from the container loading facility, a building that only unlocked in 1955. It's beautifully efficient. Just 50 workers, a single road cargo station and a pair of distribution offices are enough to keep it humming. Even if we run it with only 25 workers, this packing center will keep churning out loaded containers non-stop, turning raw production into neatly packed, ready-to-ship goods. Once the container storage silo reaches capacity, the rail distribution office I'm placing right now will take over seamlessly. It will automatically load surplus containers onto trains and sell them to the nearest customs post. Zero manual intervention, pure passive profit. To round out the setup, we add a train coaling station directly connected to the rail network. With that last piece in place, we are already more than halfway to breaking ground on the full agro-industrial complex. Well guys, Science City has acquired a new region, which means full autonomy at least in basic necessities is just around the corner. Very soon, about a dozen trains will be constantly running along the intercity high-speed railway, giving me plenty of great screenshot opportunities. But for now, let's move on to the final part of this episode, city settlement. Welcome friends to the third and final part of this episode, and a huge thank you for sticking with me so far. City settlement is one of those magical moments in Workers and Resources that never gets old. It's so special that I wanted to show it live, in real time, with my full commentary of course. You'll see exactly what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and how every decision affects the city's first days. And we will begin with checking all the basic needs that our residents want. The way I do that is I just select one house that I'm going to populate, and then I check all the services one by one. Here, as you can tell, I haven't built the whole city yet. There is a reason for that, which I will cover in just a few moments. But I think the amount of population that I will get from those buildings should suffice for the tasks they will be doing. Alright, let's take a look. So I've got 6 buildings here and 5 over there. And I'll start with this one, and it should cover pretty much the whole area. Electricity first. We have this substation here, which has power, no error messages over there. Let's go through the heating, and heating is here. I've got 3 heating substations, 1, 2 and 3. And this is the reason why I haven't built the full city yet. So you see this error message here. It says potential capacity problem, too many connections. And if I enable this overlay, you will see how many buildings are actually connected. So far, this value here demonstrates how many cubic meters all these buildings this substation is connected to will be in total in terms of the volume of their heat water tanks. Almost 300 cubic meters. This value here shows estimated maximum drain, which is already almost at the maximum that this substation can handle. And if we take a look at the other two, 74 here and 81 here. What it tells me is that most likely I will need to demolish heating station, which is this one, and replace it with one which comes after I researched modern industry in 1958, I think it is, yeah. So when it's done, I will have to demolish it. Obviously it's going to be done during the summer period, while the temperature is above 14 degrees or 16 degrees. I think that's the threshold where people start complaining. And I will be able to safely demolish the old one and build the bigger one with the capacity of, I think, 1000 cubic meters, because this current one has capacity of 700. And then I will just connect the new pipes and put a couple more substations. Okay, that's heat. Water is quite simple. You just check if there is the pressure in the pipe. If there is, that means everything is connected. You can also check the overlays, which basically shows if any pipes are missing. Same deal with sewage. I've got plenty of these sewage tanks over here. All of them connected with the big pipes. If you watched the episode when I planned this city, I mentioned that because this is like a panel houses, they have higher capacity and they produce a lot of sewage. So those pipes that are available with early start DLC, they will just not suffice at all. They will be blocked in a matter of minutes, really. Alright, and the last one is garbage, and garbage containers are within the range. That basically means that we can invite people. And I have not that many young people with the age of 21 plus that don't own their flat, almost 200 to 24. But that's fine. Let's allow them. And actually, I need to also enable stuff here. So 5 people in the kindergarten, probably 10 workers for the supermarket. Sports hall, 5 should do for now. And we just need school. Yeah, that's the one. Let's say 10. All the communications, water is coming from that city, so I'm not concerned about that at all, but almost forgot to enable that one. That's not a big deal, believe me. When you have money, even if you run out of citizens, you can always invite more if you need them. So allow this building, and this and this. I don't think I will have enough residents to populate all of them, so I will probably need to invite someone. And the unemployed. Okay, let's take a look. Everything is fine. Unemployment for now is not a big problem, because I need those people to actually start going to this train platform, from where the train will take those guys to our aluminium production area. And there we go, they're already running here. Good. How many do we have? Not many, right? That's because not all the buildings have maxed out. What are you complaining about? Kindergarten. You guys should not have any problems with reaching the kindergarten. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's just populate those buildings a little bit more and invite a bit more people. Here and here and here. By the way, I was planning to finish up the dorm because I want to launch our university. Let's start with 5 workers for now. Great. How many do we have? 20. I need roughly like 100 people to be permanently available over here. I didn't do pretty accurate calculation of how many workers do I need for now, but we will need train to come and pick up like probably 80 or 70 workers and then go all the way there. All right. Hospital. I forgot about the hospital. Let's say 10 people for now. That should suffice. How we're doing? No queues in front, which is good. 10 workers can cover up to 55 shoppers, which is also good. You are building, everything is fine. I want to populate these ones as well. And while they are thinking about moving to their new homes, let's go and buy the trains. The passenger trains. And let's take a look what we have. I have been looking into one of those models that I really enjoyed, and we're gonna need steam locomotives, and I think that was this green train here. I will buy probably a couple at this stage. I don't know how much time the route will take for the train to go back and forth, so for now 2 should do just fine. And I need passenger wagons, and I'll go with this one. I think the model of this is very, very close to the real wagon. Now, we need to send all of these guys to their depot, so let's do that quickly. One and another one, and then we will need to bring the wagons from the customs. So, customs, pick up trains, and go back to the depot, start. The train will have to refuel, I guess, because they come with just a little bit of fuel. So let's take a look. If I'm right, it will take, yep, 1, 2, and then this icon pops up. That means that he will be going to the refuel station, which is here, but he will need to do the full loop, unfortunately. But that's all right. Let's see how we go with our citizens. I'll probably close this one for now. I don't need you to be populated just yet. The reason is I need to check how many workers we have first here. And I don't believe these buildings there are actually within the range of the train station. Yes, they're not. So they will have to come here through the trams, which will be circling around quite soon. I'll definitely cover that in the next episode. How the rest of you doing? The rest of you doing okay, so let's probably invite a little bit more people here, 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 and probably make this building completely populated. Alright, perfect. Well, these guys live nearby the university. I'm not concerned about the education level so far, because they will be able to go there and educate themselves easily. Alright, our dorm has been built, no one is complaining about anything, they have access to the sports. What about the pub? Right, you guys cannot visit the pub. Well, fair enough, it's not open yet. Has alcohol, everything inside, but missing workers, so some will go and work over there in just a few moments. Alright, the workers are staying together, which is fine, and I think by that moment in time the train is already there. Yep, so let's assemble a couple and then assign task for them. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna come over here. I want them to pick up workers and then go all the way to this trade station here and unload these workers. Please start. And you will do the same. Train station load. Train station unload. And then go to the end station over there. The purpose of the end station is to stagger the schedule. 21 worker. How many we have here? Not that many, so probably I need to reduce the amount of workers in the surrounding facilities or just populate a couple more cities here. But for now, let's just follow the train and see whether everything in aluminium processing plant works. So look at that model. It's gorgeous. I really like the way it looks. Everything is fine, the wheels are spinning, and the wagon is like very, very realistic. That's a cool one. Alright, let's see. So my bauxite processing plant is actually ready. So I'm curious whether we will have enough workers. I don't think we will with this first train, because these guys will go to every building which is open for jobs. Alright, we started doing water. And let's see, underground. Yeah, they're coming. They're coming to the bauxite processing plant through the underground passage. That's cool. Nice. Operating without the issues. That's what I wanted to see, guys. And even with the small population, small settlement day, you see, it costed me like really 1,600,000, 700 almost. So despite being a millionaire, I'm still not there. Alright, well, I guess the test is completed. We settled the city. I'm going to develop it further with the public transport, decorations and stuff. So, let me select the good view. That's the one. And that's the end of this episode, friends. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to hit that like button or even subscribe to the channel. Every like and sub really helps this series reach more people who love detailed city building like we do, I do, you do. Content will keep coming out like once a week, but I always package this episode full of events, progress and different decisions, so you can follow the life of Science Cities without missing a bit. Next time, we will finally fire up Chemical Factory, take a tour of all the ongoing construction sites across the Republic, and check the real profits coming from the clean bauxite export. And if time allows, we might even start a foundation of our waste management supply chain. And with that, guys, I'll leave it to it. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next episode. Bye for now.